and motivating to refine their critical thinking, logical reasoning, and coding skills. It was formed with the purpose of providing students a dynamic platform which feeds their curiosity and develops their technical skills. We aim to create a community of versatile enthusiasts with progressive mindset, promoting development which includes injecting soft skills as well.
MLSC's open source Discord server is one of the fastest growing TIT society servers with more than 2,000 active members. We aim to bring together the aspiring minds and create a space where they can learn, grow, and develop together. So please to join our Discord server, and the link will be provided in the chat box. Two of our co-members, Aarushi Abroll and Prajit and Gupta, will be hosting today's workshop on Introduction to Open Source. Hold on tight because this is going to be a thrilling and informative workshop. The stage is now yours, Aarushi and Prajit.
Srishti, the permission for screen sharing.
Yeah, just a second.
Summary, the workshop will be around an hour, depending on the doubts we'll be getting at the end. Yeah. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Open Source Development Workshop. I am Prajit from second year COE, also a co-member at MLSC. With me, I have my co-host Aarushi, also from second year COE. Aarushi.
Hi everyone, I am Aarushi Abroll and I'm from second year COE branch and also a core member at MLSC.
So before we dive into the workshop, there's some things which you people need to know. Since this workshop is under the Hacktoberfest, Hacktoberfest being a global event, so like most of you have a chance of winning some cool T-shirts, stickers, and goodies. How you can win it? How do you can register? So most of you have a chance of winning goodies. So just stay into this workshop and also in the upcoming sessions too. Like tomorrow we have a get and get up session. One thing more, if you people have any sort of doubts, you can write in the Zoom chat box. Also, this is being live in YouTube. You can even write out there. I, Aarushi, and even our team members at MLSC would be happy to help you out there. At the end of this workshop, we would be having a quiz. So if you want to take notes, you can. Starting on. Before we start on, we would be taking a bit of poll to know what is the demographic of the audience we have currently. So I would be sharing the link. And same link would be going to the YouTube channel. So all of you just need to enter, write your name, and just vote on it if you have ever contributed to open source. Great, we got it. So most of you haven't ever contributed to open source. 4% people have contributed. That's great. And those who haven't contributed, don't worry. In this workshop, we will be covering most of the topics of open source. So at the end of this workshop, you would be knowing how you can contribute and you can start learning from there on. So coming back to the PPT. So I'm sure when during your childhood, most of you have come across the softwares like VLC, Mozilla Firefox, Android, even if there's iOS users out here. So there are two things in common in all these softwares. One, they are free to use. Like you do not need to pay to use a VLC. Mozilla Firefox is a free browser. You do not have to pay for using it. Same goes with Android. Companies like Oppo, Samsung, OnePlus are all using the Android system. Second thing which is common is these are all part of open source. How did this software become a part of open source? What is the underlying principle of it? What is open source really is? You would know that these softwares did make our world, did change our technology evolution, but somehow they're related with open source. How? We would be covering it in the next session part. So these are topics we would be covering in this workshop. What is open source, its underlying principle, history of it, how did it start, even the list of programs in which you people, irrespective of the year, first, second, third, can participate and obviously get internships and some stuff. What are the advantages to it? What do you need to know before contributing? Like you can start contributing, but you need to know some bit of things before contributing, some tools, some tech stacks. And last and not least, finding projects and organization. How you can find the projects, the method of finding it, how you can then contribute, what are the guidelines, rules to it, we will be discussing. So what is open source? Source code which is open, partially true, but there's more to it. So in open source, this is everywhere. Directly or indirectly, we have all been using technologies or softwares which are built on open source community. So for example, if you are writing a hello world program in C++ and you wrote the program and then you get the output of the program hello world. So according to you, it is your effort for the output of the hello world. But no, there are hundreds and thousands of developers. For them, the hello world output did come. How? The C++ program which you wrote, whatever the C++ printf, hello world, whatever you wrote, goes to a GCC compiler, and that GCC compiler is a part of open source. So what do I mean by that? It is a part of open source. I just mean that that software is made just not by one person or two person. It is made by 50, 100,000 developers around the world. So you got the little bit of what open source really is. Open source are softwares which are built from all around the world and also whose source code, that is a code. There is a software, if it is a Mozilla Firefox, its code is visible to everyone around the world. Let's go into an official definition of it. We have the open source initiative. So open source started officially in around 1998. This is the official definition of it, that you can access the source code, you can modify, change it, and distribute it. So let's check out the official website. Let me show you some things. So this is the official website of open source initiative. You can check it out. This is a bit of interaction. You can go through it. One thing important which most of people skip is license, the open source license. In simple language, if I say that, for example, as I mentioned, a software in open source is built by hundreds and thousands of people. So after the software is made, all the 1,000 people cannot own the software, right? If a Mozilla Firefox software is made, all the 1,000 or the 2,000 people who have contributed cannot just own it. So there must be some single person, a company, a group of people. So there must be a definitive license for each project we start as an open source. There are different sort of license out there. You will be learning it later on. So just you can go through it. Another thing is Octo-Verse. So this is released by a platform called GitHub. Now, don't get scared by the word GitHub. I know most of you are first years out and are hearing the word for the first time. What is GitHub? What it is about, we would be covering it later on. Also, tomorrow you have a GitHub session in detail, but I will be covering a bit about it here also. Don't worry about that. Just know that GitHub is a platform which releases a statistical data every year about open source. That is what open source is about, like how many countries are participating, how many people have participated in it. So this is of 2020. 2021 Octo-Verse would be released in November, December. At the end of the year, it is released. So if you check out this website, you can see that 56 million people, developers rather, all around the world have contributed till 2020. There's around 2 billion contributions added last year in open source. If you check out the demographics, North America has the highest sort of contributions from the 34%, followed by Asia. You can even check that out. The interesting thing is here is this chart. This is the languages which are used. Like if the top language, like JavaScript, is the most used language out here. So if you for 2020, if you check, it is the JavaScript followed by Python, then Java. So you can check out from here, you can have an idea, brief idea that which is the most used language by developers around the world. I can start learning. It doesn't mean that you cannot start learn this, but it is just to give you an idea that is the most used language around the world right now. It's like Python did take its jump from 2014 to 2020 right now. So you can check a bit about this website. You can go through it. This is just a statistical data of the open source if you want to know. I can share both of its link in the chat box. There you go. So yeah, coming back. So now my co-host Aarushi would be taking you through the journey from here.
Okay, so if we talk about the history of open source, the concept of free sharing information existed long before computers. For example, sharing of cooking recipes. Open source began in the year 1955 with IBM Shared Program. Sharing of source code led to a free software movement via World Wide Web and later termed as open source. So here we have a list of programs through which you can start your open source journey. At the first, we have GSOC, Girl Script Summer of Code, whose application procedure starts around the month of March, followed by Google Summer of Code, GSOC. The application procedure for the same also starts in the month of March, followed by OUTREACHY, whose application procedure begins in the month of August, followed by Hacktoberfest' and Codeheat, which is organized by FOSS Asia. Both of these are, the application for both of them starts in the month of October. Okay, so if we talk about Hacktoberfest', Hacktoberfest' is a month-long celebration of open source software run by DigitalOcean in partnership with Intel, DeepSource, and Apple. Hacktoberfest' is open to everyone in our global community. During this month, you can join other open source software enthusiasts, beginners, and the developer community by contributing to open source projects. Every year, the application procedure for this starts around the month of October itself, and participants get a chance of winning cool swags and goodies. So now if we head over to the official website for Hacktoberfest'. Okay, so as you all can see, this is the official website for Hacktoberfest' 2021. So by clicking on Start Hacking, you can start your journey of contributing. You can create an account there. Here, you can read more about what Hacktoberfest' is. Then you can check how all it works, what all rules you need to keep in your mind while you are contributing in projects. Okay, so here in the FAQ section, you get all the listed frequently asked questions by candidates. If your doubts get clarified here, it's absolutely all right. If your doubts remain unanswered, you can reach out to us or you can reach out to DigitalOcean via their social media handles. So now comes GSOC. So GSOC, also known as Google Summer of Code, is a global program focused on bringing more student developers into open source software development. Students work with an open source organization for a duration of 10 weeks. The application process officially starts around the month of March, and Google announces the list of organizations around the first week of February. So if we now go to the official website for GSOC. Okay, so this is the official website for GSOC 2021. You can read all about what GSOC is, how it has been since so many years, right? So the links will be provided in the chat section. So if we go to the organizations now, you get a list of all the registered organizations. The organizations initially listed in front of you are of the year 2021. You can choose any organization where you wish to contribute. Then you have the how it works part. You get all the procedure of how you can apply, what you need to keep in mind while you're applying, and you get the full timeline of the program, like when the application procedure begins, when the coding period begins, when the evaluations are done, and when the results are announced. Okay, so now if we go back to the PPT again. Okay, so now we have Girlstrip Summer of Code. Girlstrip Summer of Code is a 3-month-long open source program organized by Girlstrip Foundation with an aim to help beginners get started with their open source journey and to create world's largest multilingual content repository that will be available to everyone across the globe. So the applications for GSOC starts around the month of March. Participants start exploring different types of projects at this time of the year. So if we now head over to the official website of Girlstrip Summer of Code. Okay, so as you all can see, Girlstrip Summer of Code's official website is in front of you. If we see here, you can read all about what Girlstrip Foundation is. You can also read about what all GSOC is. And then if you head over to the project section, you get a list of all the projects. These projects initially are for the year 2021. So for 2022, it will be released next year around the month of October. So then you have the schedule, which you need to keep in mind while you're planning to participate in Girlstrip Summer of Code, that when the coding round begins, when the application begins, and when the results are finally announced. So now if you go to the FAQs part, again, you get all the frequently listed questions, which many of these queries will be there in your mind. You can actually clarify, most of them will be clarified here. If still any query persists, you can head over to their social media handles for Girlstrip Foundation. You can see at the right-hand side of your screen, and then you can get your queries clarified. Okay, so now we have OUTREACHY. Okay, so OUTREACHY is a program that organizes 3-month paid internships with free and open source software projects for people. The initial applications for this program starts around the month of August. Around November, the list of final accepted interns are released by the organization. So if we now head over to the official website of OUTREACHY. Okay, so as you all can see, this is the official website of OUTREACHY. You can know here what all OUTREACHY is all about. You can know the timeline of when you can apply, when you can get your internships. You can see who all can apply here. And you can also see that what is the timeline for OUTREACHY program. So if we now again head over to our PPT. Okay, so we have Codeheat. Codeheat is a coding contest organized by FOSS Asia and OpenTech each year for developers interested in contributing to open source software and hardware projects by FOSS Asia. So FOSS Asia and OpenTech run the Codeheat coding contest every year. Codeheat is separated into 2-month periods. After each period, FOSS Asia announces the winners of the period. So now if we head over to the official website for Codeheat. Okay, so as you all can see, this is the official website for Codeheat 2020. You can click on this button and get yourself registered for the next year. And then if you go over to the projects part, you get the list of all the listed projects for this time. These projects in front of you are for the year 2020. You will get the projects for 2021. You will get the final projects for 2022 next year. You can also refer to the timeline, like when you can apply, when you can get your evaluations done, and when they're announced. And here you get all the frequently asked questions by candidates, and you can get your queries clarified here. And you can also reach out on their social media handles and get your queries clarified. Okay, so now we have a poll for you. My co-host will be sending you the link in the comment section.
So you all have like at least saw what sort of organizations we have. I will check. So it's up to you now, like to decide with the best among all these. Where you can go to the same link. Just a small tip: Hacktoberfest, among all this, Hacktoberfest is a, I would say, event in which you get the most amount of goodies. There is a 50,000 people get goodies in Hacktoberfest. It's just a tip, and it's up to you, whichever you prefer among these. For now, at least, I see GSOC has the most hype, as usual. While the voting continues, let me tell you another sort of bits of tips. Remember, GSOC, Hacktoberfest, these are very famous open source events. So many people around the world participate. But coming to Faucia, Girl Summer Script Code, OUTREACHY, these are not very famous. Yeah, people do participate. There is a bit of competition. But compared to GSOC, it's a bit less. So always try applying to all of them, obviously, but try applying to these two. Just not GSOC. Try applying to OUTREACHY, Faucia. And there are other programs also. You can search it on Google out there. It's just advice. So yeah, okay, GSOC 69, great. Coming back to the PPT. Yeah.
Okay, so now we have the advantages of contributing to open source projects. So it gives you a real world software development experience when you code project with other fellow developers. So it also increases interaction with developers around the world. It enhances your resume and it helps you learn to work as a team. So there are many more advantages also, but we have listed a few of them. So now my co-host Prajit will be continuing further.
Before we move ahead, if anyone has any doubt they want to ask, they can raise their hand. And the moderators, they can bring up on the stage. Seriously, just follow the names, whoever.
Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, you're audible.
Sir, how can the beginners, us, we don't know much about this, how can we contribute to these fests?
Okay, so currently we just discussed what OpenSys is about and what are the programs and advantages. In the upcoming session, I will tell you how you can start on with it. I know you people are beginners and know nothing. Let me like take it as a thing that you people didn't even have computer science in your class 11, 12. Okay, so you know nothing. So these workshops are for you only. We will be telling you what are the resources from where you can learn, how you can contribute. Even tomorrow also we have a workshop, so just attend it, you will get to know.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, which language is preferred that we should master before taking part in these events?
There's no preference of any sort of language. Like I showed you about the different sort of tech languages which are currently very famous, right? JavaScript followed by Python, Java. So you can refer to that as which is being most used. But as I said, there's no preference of language. Any language which you're comfortable with, you can go for it. Whether it be C++, Java, Python, Rust, any language.
Okay, sir. And sir, learn a language besides C, which is being taught in the course right now, side by side.
See, learning process is dependent upon an individual. If you want to learn, it's a great thing. If you can learn an extra language, it's a great thing. But I would say take one language and be a master on it. Build up your concepts on one language, and then you can obviously jump into different languages.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And we will take one more doubt. Seriously, one more doubt.
Anyone of you
like in our course, we are being taught C language.
Yeah.
If we have to start with some other language, like I'm thinking about starting Python, then should I do it side by side?
Yes.
Will it help me in this?
Yes, you can obviously do it, and you can also contribute further in future in organizations which are having code in Python. You can contribute there. So it's a good practice learning more and more things. But whatever you are learning, you should try to learn it very well. Like you are knowing the basics well, and only then you will be able to contribute anywhere if you wish to.
Okay. I believe let's move on. Okay, we will be taking all of your doubts later on. Let's move on. So, prerequisites. So as someone was mentioning, I'm a beginner. How do I start on with contributing? So like most of you have this question, how do I start? Like what should I know before contributing? We have so many programs like GSOC, Octo-Verse, so many goodies, so many internships, jobs out there. But how do I start? I'm a beginner out here. First, basics of Git and GitHub. Git and GitHub are some tools. Do not get afraid about these words. You will be learning about this in detail, Git and GitHub, in tomorrow's workshop at 6 p.m. I will also cover a bit about GitHub, what it is and what it looks like, but in details, you will be covering it tomorrow. So just stay tuned to it. Second, programming language of your choice. Choose any one programming language at first, since you're a beginner. Most of you are beginners. Choose any one language at first, whether it be Java, C++, Python, Rust, any one language, and start on with it. It's not that you need to be a master in the language before contributing to open source. It's just like that. If I take an example, if you want to start on with music or sports, you just need to know a bit of language and then you start on. And by learning, by going through the part, you get the experience. In the same way, you just need to know a bit about the language, the basics, and then you can start contributing. And third, the most important thing which you need to decide, rather, I would say, is the tech stack of your choice. There are different tech stacks I'm sure people have heard about while entering into the college, like web development, blockchain, app development, machine learning. So for first year, it is like you have take the first 6 months of your first year and try exploring all the different domains. At the end of the first 6 months, decide which domain you like and stick to it. For example, at least stick to it for a year, and then you can obviously defer and change your route. For example, I took web development. I went into web development. So yeah, it's up to you, but try to explore all the domains and then choose one, whichever is best for you. So choose your tech stack. So again, as I said, you don't be a master of it. If you are starting with web dev, you start with HTML, CSS. You can even start contributing in HTML, CSS to different open source projects out in the world. Okay, so coming to the open source development model, we have been discussing about open source, what it is about. But here we will discuss how it works really. So you can see the square. Take it as GitHub. I did mention GitHub a while before. Don't worry. Again, as I said, we will be getting into what GitHub is and details about it later on. For now, take GitHub as a Google Drive. Okay, what do you do in Google Drive? For example, one person uploads a file in Google Drive. You share the link to another person. Another person downloads the file from the Google Drive. So a third person can also, who has access to the link, can also modify that file, can add files to it, can delete a file. In the same way GitHub works, obviously there's more to this platform GitHub, but in the same way, projects are hosted here, like projects are uploaded here, and people like modify, delete it, add more sort of codes and text and stuff. So these are projects, and this is a platform GitHub. So here in this platform, this is an open source platform GitHub. So in this platform, volunteers, rather we call them developers from all around the world. It can be of any language. It's not that developer of Python only. It can be of any language. Like this can be of Python. This can be of HTML. This can be of some different C++. Any sort of language and tech stack they can be of. So all people from all around can contribute the bit of code. For example, take Mozilla Firefox. So Mozilla Firefox was made by 500 to 600 people around the world. So for example, some contribute a part of code, some other one contribute another part of code. And it's not only constricted to a part of code we contribute. You can even contribute text. You can even contribute designs like UI UX designs. If someone is design out here or want to learn designing, so there's lots to contribute. It's not only about coding. So you can contribute anything. Developers from all around the world contributes, and by contributing, it takes 2 months, 3 months, year, 2 years, and then a project is built, and then it is sent to the market. Now, this project is maintained by a project lead, in which in our terms we call it maintainers. So these maintainers like manages the project. Like a developer is sending a code, he manages that if this code is fine, yeah, then I would merge it, I would take it into my project. It works like this. So this is how I'm sure you might get a fair idea of how open source really works. People from all around the globe contributes a bit of things to the some project, and then it compiles and then it combines and makes the project. This is a very basic idea, I did say, on a very layman language, but obviously there is more to it. So we spoke about that what is open source, what is the model, but now how to find projects and organizations. Since you all are beginners, let me tell you, you cannot, every software in the market is not of open source. For example, take MS Office. MS Office is not an open source software. It's not open to all. You cannot go and contribute to an MS Office software, but you can contribute to a VLC software. Like I'm sure you heard of VLC. There is a video player which we are, like most of us used or have used previously. So these are some projects, but only these Mozilla VLC. These are not only the ones. We have thousands and thousands, rather lakhs, I would say, projects around the world which are part of open source and which you people can contribute. But you need to find those projects. How do we find those? So there are certain websites like Hacktoberfest', GSOC organizations, GitHub. You would be hearing this term a lot of times. Trust me, but don't worry about this. We will be explaining in detail what it is about. Just know it's a platform in which open source is practiced, and it's like a Google Drive where we upload projects for now. So let me show you how this website works. So if I open an incognito, it would be better. Yeah. So if I search like GSOC, GSOC, you can go to this page, GSOC goes somewhere for. Just select the organization tab. You will see the list of organizations out here with their projects. The organization does not come only here; they come with the projects also. Okay. For example, you have a text type of cloud, like you want to contribute to all projects which are based on cloud technologies. You click on cloud. It will filter all the organizations which have brought the projects based on cloud. If you want to contribute to, let me take my domain, web development. It will list all the projects which are projects like all the organizations which are the projects based on web development. One thing which I like most about this website is like if you can search, for example, I'm a beginner. I don't know much about this tech stack, but still I want to see what are the projects out there. But I know only Java. So I just type Java out here and you get the filter, like the different sort of projects of Java. Like for example, if you click one, you will see Java. Click this, you will see Java. The technology used in this project and organization are Java. For example, Python, a very famous language nowadays. Yeah. So you can see different sort of organizations based on Python. These organizations have like brought their projects based on Python and its libraries. Even Python itself comes out in GSOC. Like you have seen different versions of Python, like Python 3.4, Python 3.5, Python 2, more to come. There will Python 4, Python 5. So these software they're updated. It's not a single individual who updates, rather who contributes to the updation or the upgradation of the software. There are a lot of developers around the world. So Python itself comes out here, and you can even contribute to Python, the language itself. So there are like famous organizations out here. You can just check that out. Okay. Now, for example, let me take about code. Let's take about code. Okay. You want to check out what projects does this organization have? I selected Python. I want to contribute in a project which is based on Python. But what are the projects we have? Click on Learn and More C projects. You get this page. Okay. Go to View Idea List. A tab opens. This thing is called GitHub. Okay. This thing, GitHub. Don't worry about it. Again, I'm saying you will be learning about this later on. Just know we clicked on it and we got into a list in which they are listing out different sort of projects of the organization which are based on Python, Django, JavaScript, and stuff. So, for example, if you want to look into one project, click on, for example, this one, Scan Code Toolkit. You get into this project. Now, let me tell a bit about GitHub. So, this is a project page of GitHub. Like every project which you open in GitHub would look like this, similar to this. Okay. Here you get the project name. Here are the project files, like the different codes, text, and stuff out here. These are project files. Don't get scared of it. These are big projects which you later on, obviously, you people will be contributing. You can see there are around 300 contributors out here. Before these, Readme, a very important part of every project. And every project in GitHub, whichever I would be showing onwards right now, you would be always see there is a README attached to each and every project. What is a README? This is a small sort of, I would say, text which is attached to each project, which would be telling what this project is about, what are the features of this project, how you can contribute, how you can run this project in local machine. Local machine means your laptop, your computer, your PC. So all this stuff is written here. If you are a beginner, it may be a bit large, or I would say a bit sort of big for you to teach so many things in one go. Don't worry, you will get adjusted to it later on. Okay. So you just need to go through it, what it is about, what is this project about, how do we run it, what are the documentation, what are the guidelines, everything is in README. Okay. So one I've told GSOC. In GSOC, you can find projects. This is one way. Other way is GitHub itself. If you go to github.com, this is the GitHub homepage. This is obviously I'm not signed up right now. So here, for example, let's search blockchain. Okay. I'm sure like most why everyone have heard about blockchain. Okay, Bitcoins you heard, so it's blockchain. So in blockchain, if I search blockchain, you see there's more than 1 lakh repositories. What is a repository? Repository are like projects. So take it as 1 lakh projects. There are more than 1 lakh projects out here on blockchain. You can look into any one of the projects. Telling about blockchain reminds me of Bitcoin also. So Bitcoin has been very famous in the last 2 years. It is, I would say, extremely hyped up right now, Bitcoin. So did you know people like Bitcoin is also open source software? It was also made by so many of the developers. It's not a particular company out there who owns Bitcoin, open source software. So these are the repositories of Bitcoin. Like these are the projects of Bitcoin. Different sort of Bitcoin projects are listed out here. For example, if you want to go into one, for example, take this one. You enter this project. As I said, this is the GitHub project page, as I did mention before. First, as I said, go to the README page. This is the readme.md. And as I said, every project has a README attached to it. Just you can look into what is Bitcoin, what this project is about, how do I run, how do I contribute. Everything is written out here. You read through it, you gone through it, you didn't like it. It's fine. You go back, you then select the next project out there. This is a different project. Again, you go to README. This is our mastering Bitcoin. Reading through the book, there's a different part to it. How you can run again the contribution line. Same thing out there. Okay, but obviously a different project with different concepts and different ideas and features. Again, you go through it, you like this, and you start contributing to it. How you contribute, I will tell you later on. But like this, I'm showing how you can find projects. You got it. Every project has README. You check out the project. If you like the project, you think, okay, I will contribute to this project. So one went GSOC, and there's GitHub. The best thing way to search for projects is, which I did when I was a beginner, is to search in Google. Open source projects for beginners. So you see the multiple websites will come out for beginners with list of open source projects in which you can contribute as a beginner. Since you people are starting, like most of you, I'm sure there's second year also there who haven't started. You also can take this path. If you are starting with it, that's great. So for example, let's click on Geeks for Geeks. This is a famous site. So they have given 7 project lists for beginners to explore, like Mozilla Firefox, Visual Studio Code, Pandas, Ticket Library. So you can contribute. You can click on this and contribute to the project. VS Code, you will be learning about a lot about it. Rather, most of you know what VS Code is. It is a platform in which you code your program like C++, Python, HTML, CSS, any sort of code. Okay. So it's like if you had computer science in class 11, 12, it was like Turbo C++, Dev C++, which we had. It's similar to it, Visual Studio Code, but you can say much modified version to it. So these are the ways in which you can find projects as a beginner. Okay, GSOC, GitHub, open source, and there are a lot many more ways. I showed you the most popular ways in which you can find projects of your choice. If you are from web development, you find projects of web development. If you're from blockchain, find projects of blockchain. It is this way you can find projects. If you are like, you know nothing, currently you are learning C, you are learning C++. So just search for projects of C++. You can write C++, you can write Java. So you write Java, you write Python. See if you can contribute, look into the project. If it's possible for you to contribute. If not issue. You will be learning later on. coming back to the PPT. So we did learn about what is open source, how do we like find projects in open source. Now the most important thing, how do we contribute in open source? We did find a project. I am good in Java. Then I took a project of Java. I found a project. I read through the README of it, and I like it's fun. But how can I contribute to it? What do I say? Whom do I contact to contribute? So now I will show you how you can contribute to these projects. So this is a bit important. I would say like concentrate on this, whatever I'm saying right now. Okay. So let me get rid of this incognito. Let me open my GitHub profile. So this is my GitHub dashboard. Okay, you can see like my GitHub dashboard, my GitHub profile. Okay, you will be also after registering, you would be getting a similar dashboard like this. This is black mode. Obviously, you might get it on light mode. I prefer black mode, but that's a different thing. So yeah, you would get a dashboard like this. So if you go with your profile, like my profile, if you've heard of LinkedIn for professionals use LinkedIn. Developers most of the time use GitHub. In this, we can showcase what projects we have done, how many times we have contributed, and stuff. So if I go to repositories, remember I did say repositories are projects. Okay, so don't get like very confused. What is a repository? It just means that it is a project you are making. Okay, so if you are like, if I go to a one project like this MSc website, what is MSc website? You are currently attending the workshop of Microsoft Learn student chapter, Society at Hopper. So this is the official website of that society. If I click on it, this is the official website project of MLSC website. Okay, so as I said, since we are taking a workshop open source, our MLSC community is an open source community. Later on, when you are learning, you can obviously come to my MSc like profile and contribute to any of our projects out here. We would be happy to help you out there if you are facing any sort of issues. Just like you find organization, you can say we are a sort of small organization, small society at college in which which has certain projects and you can contribute in our projects too. So this is the official website of MSc. It is the official, like you can say, the code part of that website. So remember what I said. Whenever you go to a project page at GitHub, first and foremost, go to the README. In the README, learn what it is about MLSC, what this project is about. Then you can go for the contribution guidelines. Like since you're contributing, you want to contribute, there's certain guidelines to it. What are the guidelines? I will not go into it right now. Later on in tomorrow's session, maybe it will be discussed. It just know that these are some guidelines in which you can contribute. Okay, you will be learning later on. It's totally fine if you don't understand what these words are. So these are certain guidelines which you have to follow while contributing. These are certain codes which you have to run to contribute in this project or to set up the project. So first you went through README, you are done with the README. You came to a project, read the README, done. Now you want to contribute to the project. Before contributing, let me show you. You can see contributors. So these are, if I click on contributors, you can check out who have contributed to this project. Now this is me. This is my co-host Aarushi. So you can see there are different contributors out here and the contributors page. As I mentioned, even you people can come and contribute here. Your name will be listed out here. So you can then go to issues. You went into the project, read the README. Now go into issues part. What is these issues? See, replace Facebook with LinkedIn. Add new sponsors to sponsor us page. So this is a website. So in the website, it means that there's a LinkedIn icon, and the website replace it with Facebook. There's a sponsor us page. Add the new sponsors page which we have got. So these are some issues. Whenever you're contributing, come to the issues. See, okay, I can add new sponsors. I'm sure, like, yeah, most of you don't know what HTML is and how you can contribute data technologies. I am here discussing what it is about, like how you can contribute after learning a bit of it. So there are different labels to each issue. You're seeing enhancement, Hacktoberfest. For the beginners, go for the good first issue level. Whichever issue has on its side a good first issue, it does mean that comparatively to the other issues, these are easier. These are easier for you to contribute, easier for you to solve. Once you're solving an issue, you will get stuck. Don't worry, you can ask anyone, literally anyone out here, any senior out at Thapa, even in the MLSC open source community. So for example, you want to take this issue, replace Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, replace the Facebook icon, whichever the Facebook icon is in the page, replace it with LinkedIn. You want to take this issue. Click the comments. Okay, here is the comment. I am interested. Just write this. Okay. So you write I am interested and just comment on it. Just click comment on it. For example, if I click comment, you check it out. Like I commented, I'm interested. So what happens after you comment? You can see Ritik Rajdev. This is a maintainer. Remember, I did say always there's a project leader, maintainer who manages the project. So he's the maintainer of this project. Okay. So what he does is whoever comments, for example, this guy commented 3 days back. So he assigned this issue to him. Once you're assigned, you start working on it. This is a sort of guideline which the global community follows. You need to first assign yourself. If there is a other person doing it, if he can't do, obviously the maintainer would take the the issue from him and would assign it to the next person. It's like it happens like that. If no one is assigned, you can just comment and you will be assigned later on by the maintainer. Once you are assigned the issue, you can start working on it. It's just as simple as that. Okay. Now, even if you have issues while assigning in the contributor MD, we have a Discord server link. In the same way, other projects also have the Discord, Slack, or any other communication channel. For example, if I show you, I forget to show you this one. You can see in GSOC this project about code, which I did show you, or rather I was showing you. There are certain contacts like chat, mailing list. So if you are having any issues like in the project, or you are not able to understand what do we really have to do in this project, this code is written here. What does this mean? Like, what do we have to do with this? How can we change? You can contact anyone with this chat. You can click on the mailing list. So it's better you contact these people. Obviously, you can contact seniors, us, MLSC team, anyone. But it's better whoever's code it is, whoever's organization project it is, you contact the organization people. They would be the better person to help you out here. So in the same way, in each and every project, in the contribution guidelines, there would be a Slack link, Discord link, any sort of platform with a communication link where people can connect with people so that you can ask your doubts. What are the other things? PR action projects. This I won't be discussing. You would be getting to know about this in the tomorrow's workshop. I just did give a brief idea of what GitHub is, how it looks, how you can contribute out here. Now, since we have been overviewed a lot of open source, let me show you some interesting things. Okay. I did mention all projects, open source projects are in GitHub. So should be Mozilla Firefox. So let's go to Mozilla Firefox GitHub. If I click on it, you can see that this is the Mozilla's GitHub profile. Mozilla is a company in which they have listed out certain projects. You can view any of the project, view the code of the project, even contribute. For example, if I go to this project, pdf.js, first you go to the readme, you learn what this pdf.js is about. It is a portable document viewer that is built with HTML5. Since most of you are beginners, I'm sure you will start with HTML5 if you're going for a web development project. So it will be easier for you to learn about this, contribute to this code. You have to learn what it is about, how do we run it. If you have certain questions out here, you just go to the readme. It just answers most of your doubts. And then you can start contributing. You can see there are 345 contributors all around the globe. It can be from Africa, America, from anywhere. 345 contributors have contributed to this project of Mozilla. There is a pdf.js. So this is one project. Another interesting if I show is VLC GitHub. If I click on it, this is the same old VLC which we use, the same GitHub project page of VLC. This is the VLC official VLC which we use. So here you can see there's 553 contributors to make the VLC which we are using nowadays. Again, this has a README. You can go through it as usual. So if I search now, and Android users globally, there are 2.5 billion active Android users. By the way, iOS users, don't get disheartened. I'm not competing with iOS and Android out here. It is just that I'm showing a bit of an example to let you know about something. So we have 2.5 billion Android users. And for example, think that you have Android is an open source software. You have contributed a part of code to your Linux kernel of Android. Linux kernel is again an open source software. Okay. So you have contributed a part to an Android open source system. That code get accepted. Okay. So your code would be affecting 2.5 billion people around the world. Just think how amazing is that. So that's the power of open source. Open source is the initiative in which it is encouraged that developers from all around the world come together and build any sort of innovative software which you think is good for you. And that software is then sent to the market free of cost. Most of the time, some are paid, most of the time they're free of cost. So this is just an example how great is the impact of open source we have. So coming back to the PPT. Chalo, before this, do you people have any doubts? Srishti, people can raise their hands and unmute.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So I have a doubt. So for the project, the company will be paying us or not?
See, since you're a beginner, don't take it as that if I am given a payment, then only I will contribute. It's a learning process. Once you contribute, you come across errors, and then mentors only will teach you that, okay, you can solve this error in this way. Yes, if I say this company pay you, if it's an internship, yes, you get paid. There are a lot of internships in which you have to contribute for open source. Yes, you get paid. But if you're doing it voluntarily, no, you don't get paid. But when you are contributing, it is adding to your GitHub profile. And once it's adding to your GitHub profile, when you are sitting for an interview or any job, it affects a lot. For example, if you have contributed to a big project like any project like Linux, okay, and your code has get accepted, and you are a regular contributor to it. So if you show it to an interviewer, whoever will be giving you a job, or if you're applying for master or whatever it is, it would be a good impact. Like you can say it adds to the CV. Most of the time you don't get paid because you do voluntarily, but at times you also get paid because there are certain internships in which you have to contribute to open source. So it's like that. You can choose. But as a beginner, don't worry about payment. If you are going with payment, then you won't learn. Okay. I hope I did solve it out.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So what do we have to do? Like you said that there are many organizations and we can select anyone. What is the task that we have to perform?
See, I did show you issues. You did show the issues, right? Like change Facebook with LinkedIn and those stuff. So every project, there are certain bugs or there are certain features which need to be added. So it is, I won't say the task. It is sort of features which are need to be added. If you know, like if you can add, if you know that I can do this, I can write this code, then do it. If you don't, then just don't. Like don't take a different sort of project out there. It's not about tasks that like organization doesn't give you a task. It is up to you. If you are listing out an organization, you go into the organization page, you go into the issues. There are certain issues to it. If you feel like, yeah, I can solve this issue, then just click it, comment it, and you will be assigned. Try solving it. If you don't, like if you can't solve it, it doesn't matter. You won't be fined, you won't be kicked out or banned. Nothing happens out here. Okay. They will give you 2-3 days or 4 days or a week once assigned. And if you cannot solve, they will unassign you and assign it to a different person out there. So it's like that. Once you start contributing into open source, you would get a brief idea about it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
So you said that the GitHub profile will help in the CV. What will we need to do for it to help in the CV?
So like
how will we approach the interview with the GitHub profile basically?
You don't need to approach the interview will look into it. Like when you were applying to societies in MLSC, we would be looking into your GitHub profile. If you have one, obviously from first years, we won't be taking much into criteria that you would be knowing a lot of things. For second year recruitment, we did. But for companies, I'm telling you, this happens. It happens like this. You can see that For example, if I am an interviewer, you are an employee, and I need to judge you. What can I judge you on the basis? Exams, CGPA. For people who do competitive programming, their CP profile. For people who are developers, their GitHub profile. So if I want to judge you, like how good a developer you are, then I will obviously stalk your GitHub profile and see what projects you have done, what is it. And if I see, yeah, you have done some great projects, then in your interview, the interviewer asks, you have done this project, or just share about it.
So,
It's like that.
they usually check while the interview is going on or before?
It's most of them before. It's like, yeah, before shortlisting you, they check a bit about the GitHub profile. It's not compulsory. They need to check. Most of them check if you're applying for it. But that's it. Like, it's always adds to your CV. Moreover, anyone, like when you are in the open source community, like when you would join our society or any other society, or you would be in a contributor, or you would be a good programmer, there will be a community. You will get a community. You will be talking with different people from around the world. So then your GitHub profile will matter. People will judge you with a GitHub profile only. Like if someone has commented on it, I will just go to his GitHub profile and see, is this guy or girl can literally do this issue? Can he take this up? Is he hardworking? I can just judge it with a GitHub profile.
So they basically check with they check the profile which we can enhance by working with the community, basically.
Yeah, sort of. Team player. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, for participating in GShock, I have only want to select an associate and then contribute only.
No, for participating GSOC, there's a totally different criteria. See, whichever programs you mentioned are the first, they are competitions. Okay, they are competitions in which you need to take part. If you get selected, then you can contribute. And which I showed the projects here around after we showed the programs. Later on, I showed some projects in which you can contribute. You can contribute to any project. You don't have to give any interview, any staff, any resume, or any profiles. But for GSOC, if you are saying, since it's a very distinguished program, you need to write a proposal. You need to contribute before that. You need to write a big document out there, and then you need to submit it. If your documents get accepted, then only you will be called to contribute to a certain company's project. It's like a internship.
Okay. First we have to done our works good पहले दिखाने के लिए उनको.
Just go through the website once, you will be able to know what all the procedure is.
Thing is, you don't contribute by this mind that you want the internship. You contribute by this line that you are learning. क्योंकि तुम लोग जब कुछ सीखोगे, like if you are building a website, so if you want to learn more about the website, or if you want to learn what are different errors I can face, you will learning it through open source only. If you don't contribute together as a friend, as a group and community, you won't be learning. And then if you won't be learning, you cannot make projects. If you cannot make projects, you're not good at an interview. Just like that, you can say. So its advantage is adds to your resume. Also, it's a part of learning.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. I would take another one question if sir.
Sir, my question was like, if I want to participate in any event like GShock in my second year, like what is the minimum level of skill that I must have till that time?
I would say like it's not a minimum skill. It's like it's up to you if your proposal get accepted. But obviously, before going to GSOC, you should have a good hold of the tech stack, whichever project you're contributing. For example, if you're contributing in app development, a project based on app development, so you should have a good hold in that. Like at least by reading the issue of bugs, you know, okay, this is the thing I have to do. But obviously, it doesn't mean that you can solve. We as a developer Google out things a bit. Okay, a lot of things we Google out, like we search in Google itself. So it's just like that. You just need to know a good hold of it, and then you can obviously apply for a GSOC. As a first year, also you can apply for GSOC. It doesn't matter, but the proposal most of it might get rejected because you won't be able to make a good proposal out here. And one thing more, talking about GSOC, in our MLSC, we have a senior who has currently been in GSOC. And so later on, if you have more doubts about GSOC, there's a channel named GSOC in open source community, you can ask there. And he would surely able to answer you well, like much better than me, I would say. So let's move forward and then we will take more questions.
Prajit, there's just one more doubt.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I am from electrical engineering and I really want to, I'm really interested in coding. So I want to know if I like code and contribute, will it help me in further if I apply off campus after 4th year? Is it like that? They will say that you are in electrical engineering and you are not allowed to sit. Is that like that? Or it will help me?
Good question. In open source, if you are, even if you are from mechanical and biotech, it doesn't matter. Okay. Like when I was talking some repositories, I did saw some Indians. Like I did saw the GitHub profiles Indians, and I went to their LinkedIn and I did see that they are from biotech. So people from anywhere can contribute. Okay. Because while you're registering GitHub, no one asks your branch. Coming to interviews, in on campus, there is a certain criteria like circuit branch, like electrical computer branch can sit on this particular company. There's a certain criteria, but in off campus or while you're applying for GSOC or these programs, there's no criteria like this. It can be of any branch anywhere. So obviously it's beneficial for you. I would say like just take it. Like if you're from electrical, don't need to worry about like go for your college curriculum and by the side when you have free time, try learning this stuff.
Yes, I have planned that only. And sir, in Thapar also we can join these societies. Electrical students can also join.
Everyone can join this society. Everyone, literally everyone can join this society. But yeah, there are certain, I want the criteria. There are certain things which you have to go through before joining, which we will be discussing later on. Not
okay,
so.
Thank you, sir.
Srishti, I'm moving on. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So software is like food, is better when it's free. Everyone like free things. If I'm sure the first years have mostly spent their time online in their class 12. So most of you are aware of Discord. Like during our time, I think 2-3 months back, Steam was offering 3 months of free Discord Nitro. So people were quite excited. So everyone likes free software. So as I said, the like systems like Windows is a paid software. Why it's not an open source software? While Linux, most of you haven't heard what Linux is. Linux is like Windows. Okay, Windows is operating system. Linux is also an operating system, but it's an open source software, so it's free to use. So that's what, like I would say, advantage of open source. Any software open source are free to use. So if all the software around the world become free to use, isn't it good for the audience as well as the public as well as the developers? So yeah, that's it. Software is like food. Open source like the food is better when it's free. This is a meme. Some people might have understood what it is. Some people don't. Let me explain you. Criminals can't use secret exploit in your code if your code isn't a secret. At the very first of this workshop, I did mention that in open source, any software, if it is, whether it be VLC, whether it be Linux, whether it be Android, all the code of the software are publicly visible. Like even you can I searched Mozilla GitHub, Android GitHub. You can see the code of it. There is a bit by bit how it is made, all the code. You can check it out in your in the website. So if the code is visible, it means that like 1,000 lakhs, millions of developers have seen it. While seeing it, they might have noticed, okay, there's a bug in this code. I can fix it. They have fixed it. So since the code have gone to the hands of thousands and thousands of people, there is very little chance that any hackers can find loopholes in it. So open source softwares are very much, I would say, safer than other softwares. Like there's a war between Linux and Windows. Okay, you have entered college, when you would be in your when you have been completing your 6 months or when you would be in second year, you would know there's a Linux Windows sort of thing out here. So always it is said that Linux is more safer than Windows. The updates in Linux are more stable than in Windows. It's just because thanks to open source, in which there are more number of developers who are looking after that, And while in Windows, there are maybe 100, 200 developers, while there are millions of developers out there. Quiz time. Before quiz time, to show you something more. Since, as I mentioned, I didn't mention you might be getting t-shirts and stickers and goodies. So how would you get that? Go to this website, Hacktoberfest. Okay. You can visit the website. Let me open it in my incognito tab. So go to the website. Here you can click start hacking. What this fest is about, what you have to do, what are the tasks, I will tell you. Don't worry. But just right now register. Click on it. You have the two options: sign up with GitHub, sign up with GitLab. If you people have GitHub, just click sign up with GitHub. You would get another page in which it is saying that as a participant, as a mentor, as an organizer, click on as a participant, and there will be some info like your mail IDs, and click register. You would be registered. It's a very easy step. Okay. Once you have done with your registration, so what you have to do is in this Hacktoberfest 2021, this like event is for encouraging you people, like those who are beginners, rather I would say, to come to open source and contribute. For example, you know C++ a bit, or C a bit, or you can even know a bit of, or rather I would say you're a content writer or a designer sort of. So go to projects, find projects at GitHub. How do you find projects at GitHub? Like select, like write Hacktober 2021. Hacktoberfest. So once you write Hacktoberfest 2021, you would get a lot of repositories out here. So repositories, I did say they are projects. Remember that. Don't need to worry about this word. So there you are getting more than 6,000 projects out here. So these all are participating in the 2021 Hacktoberfest. This Hacktoberfest is available from October 1. It started from October 1 and will end in 31st October. This is a 1-month program. If you complete the task within this a month, then you would be getting a t-shirt and some stickers delivered to your home. Free of cost, obviously. Yeah. So once you find,
you can also get a plant, like planted in your name. That's a new thing that they have started from last year. So
yeah, thank you, Srishti. He didn't mean that like you can get a t-shirt also. If you want, you can, instead of getting a t-shirt, you can choose a tree, or like tree to plant. Like you can tell them, I want a tree to plant. So they would be planting a tree in your name. Not they would create, they won't be saving your name, but as a contribution to the global community, you can plant a tree. Very good gesture, I would say. It's up to you. So once you write Hacktoberfest 2021, you get more than 6,000 projects out here. Remember, go through these projects, whichever you like. For example, this project. So go to these projects. Here it is written, contribute your favorite data structure implementation. So if you know a bit of C++ code, then go into C++ and contribute to it. How you can contribute, how you can upload your code here. I'm not talking about this right here. We would be talking about in this next session tomorrow at 6 p.m. Get and GitHub. There will be different speakers out there. They will be talking about this, and so they will be learning. I would be just telling you how you can do this. Okay, stuff. How to do this stuff. So here you can see, you can again go to Readme, how to contribute. You can, like if you have any C++ code, you can contribute out here. You can even change the Readme. For example, if there was spelling issue out here, if you wanted to add some lines out here, if you had some good introduction about C++, you can add it here. Even that is also a, I would say, negligible contribution for beginners. So yeah, for like that's a negligible contribution, but it's not encouraged, but you can. So remember one thing while contributing, all the repositories only with this tag Hacktoberfest will be counted. If you are contributing to a project without this tag, your contribution won't be counted. If you're contributing to a project with this tag, then only your project will be counted. Okay, you'll be getting it in your dashboard itself. So in this dashboard, you will be seeing that you have contributed. So just note, find projects of Hacktoberfest 2021 in which there is a tag called Hacktoberfest. If you have this tag, contribute to it. How will you contribute? Later on, later on we will be discussing that. But just find this tag, and you're good to go. So I would encourage all of you who have been attending the session, and even the recording of the session, I think it is being live streamed in YouTube. So later on, if you have missed anything, you can check out the live stream, and I would be adding all the links to the YouTube description. So don't worry about those also. Yeah. So quiz time. Any doubts before that? Then I would be starting a bit of quiz.
We recommend every one of you to go and participate in Hacktoberfest 2021.
Sir, I had a doubt that if we already have a GitHub profile, then do we need to like rejoin it using Thapar email ID, or we can just use the previous account that we have for Hacktoberfest?
Use your previous account. Remember, once you have made your GitHub profile, you will be using it for the next 4 years at least, and even after that, if you're a developer. Okay, so use the previous account. You don't need to make any new account for registering in the Hacktoberfest.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any more?
If anyone has any doubts, please raise your hand.
Srishi, I'm sure anyone is looking for the YouTube also, the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I'll check.
Yeah. So let's start with the quiz then. Can you explain the t-shirt part, please? Okay. So yeah, the thing is, in Octo-Verse, as I mentioned, sorry.
So let me answer this. So,
Okay.
so supposedly at max, at minimum, you need to contribute, make 4 PRs in any of the GitHub repositories, and those PR needs to be merged. And after you have at least 4 PRs merged in any of those GitHub repositories around GitHub, then you get a t-shirt from DigitalOcean. So there are many other swags and goodies. Don't think about the t-shirt itself only. So there are many other, but just focus on the learning part, that you're getting an opportunity to contribute in open source.
Okay. The thing is, what are PRs? I know. Forget about PRs for now. Okay. In Brave, her sentence was that you need to make 4 contributions. Okay. You need to make 4 contributions, minimum of 4 contributions. Obviously, you can make hundreds of contributions out there, but you need to make 4 contributions in any of the projects with the tag Hacktoberfest, and you're good to go. Okay. So that's about Hacktoberfest. Just 4 contributions. What is PR? What is merging? We would be discussing tomorrow. No need to worry about that. These are all part of Git and GitHub. So just know that for getting a t-shirt or for planting a tree, you need to make 4 contributions to the Hacktoberfest repositories. It is very easy. You don't need to be a pro developer in that. You just need to know how you can contribute, and small bits of contribution also matters. Like as I said, text. Any template, you have a good template of the project. Like there's a project, for example, this is a project, and for example, we have a logo, and you can make a better logo of this. Okay. Obviously, you are not making a logo of our society, but you can make a better logo of any other different part or anything else. You can add an image. So you can contribute to it. It's not that you have to restrict it to the issues. You can create an issue and contribute to it. How to create issue, we will be discussing later. But as I said, contribution can be anything, literally anything. But it should be valuable, not a bogus or a spam thing. It's just that. Oh, okay. I'm starting with the quiz, and after the quiz, I'm sure we have taken up 1.5 hours. So let's end the quiz, and if anyone have doubts, I would be happy to answer you all after the quiz. Okay, after we end this thing. Srishti, just send this link in the YouTube link. Just spam it out there.
Yeah.
This is the link for the quiz. I'm just activating it. Click on the link. There will be a name. Just join with your name, and you're good to go. Just 85 people have joined. We would be waiting for around 1 more minute. I can see you have 141 participants in this Zoom and YouTube. I don't know how many. Let's request everyone join. Even the team MLSC members can even join, except me and Aarushi. Yeah.
Guys, do join it. It's going to be nice. Okay, so at present we can see 89 participants. Guys, join कर लो. रजित एक बार लिंक दोबारा डाल दे. काफी सारी क्वेरीज आ गई हैं, सो मिस हो गया होगा.
You don't be allowed. You just have to write your name out there in the text box, whichever text box there is. You just need to write the name up there, and you can just join it. Like I can see here 106. Like you can check out the names here. So that's it. You just need to write the name out there. I will starting.
To write your original name, we'll be able to figure out like who is having a high score.
It's better you write your original name. Srishti, YouTube में डाल दिया?
Yeah. I think you can start now.
You can start. Sure.
Yeah.
So there will be a timer. Okay. Try answering it as fast as possible. You can. These all questions are based on what the workshop we have done. So yeah, go for it. Your first question. I hope all of you have listened to it carefully. Okay, so most of them have answered. 93% have answered Mozilla Firefox. That's great. Great. So it's correct. The leaderboard will be in the time of the seconds you have like given for answering. So yeah, next question. Okay, 1998 32%, 1995 24, 12, and great fight. We have just 87. There was 110 some people registered. Try answering
any option you're like. Try answering the right option.
So I think most of you are incorrect. It was 1995. So let's see the leaderboard. Aditya, Pathak, Aryan Garg, Pranav are in the top 3. Great going, guys. Next question. Great. Most of you answered correctly, GitHub. So since 24% have answered incorrect, GSOC is not a platform for contribution. It is a platform for finding different organizations and projects. You can find projects here, but you cannot contribute projects there. Okay, you cannot make a contributions out there. Okay, this is a program, rather I would say, in which it offers internships to people. So yeah, that's it. GitHub is the answer. So GitHub is the correct answer. And again, Pranav on the top. Yeah. Aarushi, you can.
Then we have Aarushi and Harpratap. So Prajit, get on to the next question.
A bit tricky. Okay, not tricky. Chalo, easy. MS Office. Yeah, that's the right answer. So I did mention, remember, Linux is open source software. LibreOffice is another alternative of MS Office. You can say it's mostly found in Linux kernels and distros. So Microsoft Office is here, and the leaderboard. Pranav, Aarushi, Aditya, Pathak. Great, guys. Congratulations. We would be recording this name, and let's see what we have to do with this later on. So yeah, that's great. So thank you for attending the workshop. I will be taking your doubts. Don't worry. If you have any doubts, you can ask right now. But this is the QR code in which you people can join our open source community. And this community, you can ask any sort of doubts. You can even ping me, Aarushi, or any other team MLSC members if you have any issues. We are in the Discord there itself. And that's it. So yeah, doubts. Chat.
Guys, you may raise your hand or type your questions in the chat.
And just spam the Discord server link. Yes.
Can you please go back to the poll again so that the students can see the answer again they wanted to say?
I didn't get you, Bhaiya.
You can go back to the poll page again so that students can see the answer to the quiz.
Okay.
They had some.
This one?
Yeah.
So this is the leaderboard.
Prajit, they want to see the answer to the question.
Which question? Like which one?
The last question.
Okay. So Hacktoberfest is organized globally. It is by DigitalOcean. Like most of them have given the right answer, and only 22, I think, have given it. So yeah, that's it. Anything else? No, correct.
Yes, Aryan, you can ask your doubt. You raise your hand, right?
मैम मैं पूछ रहा था कि लास्ट क्वेश्चन कब कर रहे हो, जब तक मैंने देखा खत्म नहीं होगी वोटिंग.
You will be having more chances, and we will be having more contests out here. Just join the MLSC community server. We have more for you.
Just join tomorrow's and day after tomorrow's workshop. Also, you will get to have much more fun there too.
Okay. Thank you.
Guys, I hope you all like the session, and please do join the MLSC Discord server and let us know how did you like. And you can ask your queries there to any one of us. Like you can DM me, you can DM Prajit, or you can DM any team member from Team MLSC. We'll be happy to address you all with your doubts.
We will be waiting for another 5 minutes. If you have any doubts, we'll be answering it, and then we can end this workshop. And thank you for your great comments. We also really enjoyed with you people. And Shivanshi, just spam the Discord server links and even the Instagram. How to join MLSC? Arpit bhai, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, what's the question?
How to
How
join?
in MLSC?
How to join MLSC? Well, it's too early for this. First of all, I'll recommend कि पहले you attend all the workshops and get to know what MLSC actually is, and then you decide whether you want to join us or not. And yes, you can ask the same doubt on open source community. It'll walk you through the whole recruitment process.
That's it.
I guess Dhruv has a doubt. He has raised his hand. You can unmute yourself and ask Dhruv.
Don't have a specific course workshop related, just general doubts for the laptop. Do you guys have any preferences?
Or you were not audible. Like, are you asking like which laptop to?
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
You can take any laptop. There's no restriction on that. You can take any laptop. Like, there's no branch restriction on it. Like,
Some specifications which we should avoid, something like that.
I guess you get a list of specifications.
Let me answer. The thing is, if you are looking for, like, if you are thinking that for programming you need a great laptop, no, not at all. For programming, even a i3 laptop can do better. Okay. So if you want to learn Android Studio or want to learn ML, these are very big terms right here. Yeah, you need a very like a good higher version of laptop. I would say take a laptop of i5, around i5. Okay, if you have a, like, we all have a student budget. Okay, yeah, there are some people with MacBooks out here, but you can take a laptop around i5 and or Ryzen 5. It would do good. Okay, that's it.
Achha, guys,
Yeah,
this
Taranpit did.
sorry, Prajit. This workshop is limited to open source and open source contributions. We're happy to answer all your doubt pressures, and just join the community, and there's specific channels for all your queries regarding anything, and you can reach out to us there. We'll tell you anything that you want to ask. Here, if possible, we can please limit the questions to the workshop only.
One of our members did say that we can have a discussion about all these topics in a Discord server. We can even join VC out there.
Yes, so I feel we should wrap it up, and it was a very successful session. I would like to personally thank Prajit and Aarushi. They endowed a lot of knowledge to all of us. It was helpful even for the second years. I'll be honest with you guys. So, well, Nitansh, if you would like to add something.
Yeah, so thanks Aarushi and Prajit for today's workshop. It was amazing. Guys, do join in tomorrow for tomorrow's workshop on Git and GitHub, which will be taken by Pranjal and Khushi. The links will be provided to you. You can join our open source community server. I'll just provide the link in the chat box. 1 second.
Yes, and any doubts that you have regarding laptops or anything else, you can always interact on the community server. There are tons of people over there who would be very interested in answering all those doubts.
Not even doubts. If you just want to hang out with your seniors, like since it's all online, so we cannot interact in real time, so we can all play games together. We'll be hosting some fun events over there, so just join us. You'll have fun. So
if you can share the Instagram link also later on for them, like even we put updates in our Instagram, our MLSC.
Yeah, sure, Prajit. 1 second. I'll do that as well.
And thank you for all your comments. I and Aarushi are extremely grateful to you people. Rather, all the team MLSC is grateful to you people. So yeah, that's it from our side.
Thank you everyone for joining in.
Thank you everyone for joining. We'll be wrapping the session now. Thank you for being patient, and we hope that all your queries were answered. Though if you have any queries remaining regarding anything, we've dropped the Discord server link in the chat, and we provided you with the QR as well. You can join us there. Also stay tuned to our social media handles for updates. I saw most of you were asking how to join MLSC. You can just see the previous post on Instagram as well if you want to know the process, and we'll answer it in the community server as well. Also, there were doubts regarding the recording for the session and the PPDs. So we'll be making available all of it in the community server only, and the recording will be uploaded on YouTube channel as well. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and where you will find links to all of these. Please drop the, I'll ask Aarushi, please drop the Linktree link in the chat box as well. So you can get all the links from there also regarding anything. And we'll be happy to answer all the queries. Please join us in the community. Sir. And also join us for tomorrow's workshop. You had doubts regarding Git and GitHub as well. And I hope all of those will be answered in tomorrow's workshop.
Bye, guys.
So much. Bye, guys.